straight into the lead. That didn't take long, and he's got himself up to the head of the field. Wilson Dilks is trying to work his way to go and chase him, but the man from Brechin in Scotland, Tyler Humphries, out of the braking zone for Christmas, but it's Frankie Watson who has been able to jump off of pole position. The young lad from Haywards Heath who is giving chase to Tyler Humphries right now.
Frankie Watson, of course, in that battle with Hudson Cooper for third place in the championship. The championship effectively pretty much tied up by Tyler Humphries. Wilson Dilks should be finishing second, but who's going to finish third? It's going to be between Hudson Cooper, who went through the line in fifth place, and Frankie Watson. Frankie Watson can do himself a favour if he gets a big result in this one.
Yeah, it's worth Frankie Watson keeping an eye on him, of course, because had it not been for that little collapse at Three Sisters when he came off the bike, he would have been in the fight for this championship, for that place in the World Series for me. He was certainly really starting to jog on a pace in terms of his point score. Three Sisters really undid his fight for the World Series place. So unfortunate, but he's just getting himself set up for a crack at it in 2025. He is on the resurgence, and he is going to be a rider to fear next year.
Yeah. So just to be clear, because there was some confusion at Wigan, I thought there were two people going to the World Series in 160 and 190. I've been told since that it's three people in the 190, but only for some reason two riders in this class. Otherwise, this could be an absolute humdinger this weekend, trying to work out who's going to finish third in the championship to go to the World Series. But there are only two places available in the 160 class for some reason.
Well, hopefully that reason will be edited and adapted for next year, because we so would love to see 6 riders be sent to the World Series rather than only 5. But look at this battle up front. It's already pretty electric, isn't it? Tyler Humphries, Frankie Watson, Wilson Dilks, and this time Watson is in the midst of it. Humphries actually looked like he got a little bit of a slow run. Here's Frankie Watson diving at the inside. Thank you. Oh no, I've messed it up. He runs a little bit too deep and has gone to the back of the train.
Tries to make one, loses 2, but you have to celebrate the ambition. He went for the lead, had to get on the brakes, ran wide, and that's allowed the man in second place now, Wilson Dilks, to get past him. And you don't want to see Wilson Dilks in front of you, let's be honest. This is the battle for 4th.
It's difficult, isn't it? You have to buy a ticket in order to win the lottery, and he did his best there to try and make that gamble pull off. Here is King Stevenson and Ollie O'Gorman. Now there is a surname, of course, that we all know and respect in this sport. Ollie O'Gorman following very much in the footsteps of Casey, and it's not going to be too long the way he's going before he emulates it. Right, through the S's of Crook and Oblivion, along Manuel's back, up Fine Lady. Is Frankie Watson going to be able to get back into second position to take on Wilson Dilks? Certainly for the moment, Dilks has only got one fish to fry, and that's the lad in front of him, Tyler Humphries, as they go through Inkermans, up towards Ashby once again. It's all neat and tidy for the leaders up front. Wilson Dilks has got to play the percentage here. He's got to follow in pursuit of Tyler Humphries and make him do the work. Frankie Watson, riding angry with that mistake still on his mind, now sets the fastest lap, 53.75. Again, he wants to put these two riders under pressure. Now he knows he can pass them, he knows he can beat them. He will be utterly determined to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. This, of course, guys, if you're watching this for the first time, is the official Road to MotoGP series in the UK. Inset, we're looking at the battle for 6. This is the battle for the lead. This is the officially sanctioned ACU FIM Championship Series in the UK, which of course, with these pictures and this coverage,
Dilks is coming out the inside. Dilks is going for it. He leans in, and through comes Dilks. Through comes Watson. So Humphries is down to third position. That was big gambling from Wilson Dilks. He really fought for that on the inside of Tyler Humphries. Humphries had to overshoot. He had to give best, and he's actually let both men go through. Wow, this is proper drama now.
Yeah, Inset, you've got the drone footage, and in the main picture, these 3 out front. That's Watson. Is he looking down the inside and gets the job done into the boot? Frankie Watson takes the lead, and here comes Humphries up the inside of Dilks, and just like that, Dilks goes from first to third.
How about that for opportunism? Tyler Humphries saw the gap and went, do you know what? That's bike shaped. I'm going to make it happen. In a second place past Wilson Dilks. Dilks doesn't know whether he's coming or going. Down to third position, and Frankie Watson hits the front. Good lad.
Again on the drone, you're seeing the 3 riders going up into Christmas Corner. We're on board here with Tyler Humphries That is Frankie Whilton out front, and he's doing himself a big favour here because Whilton can put himself up to third place in the championship. If he can get a win here, that's huge for him.
Yeah, he will be frustrated that it's not top three that go through, but best of the rest is still a very good car to have.
It's a shame it's not the top three. I'm not sure why we've got 2 coming out of 160 and 3 out of 190. But anyway, that's the way it is for this year. And as you say, Jake, let's hope that everybody at Dorna, MotoGP, FIM, ACU's watching the coverage and saying, you know what, we really need to give more places to the British riders because of this sort of coverage that we get in. I'm not seeing this sort of coverage from Spain, Italy. I know you do a lot of commentating around the world, but I'm not seeing the sort of coverage we get in the British Minibikes Championship in other series in Europe or the world.
So this is going to be a tricky one for Wilson Dilks. He'll try and take on Tyler Humphries for second position. If he can take some points off his main rival, why not? He's seen Frankie Whilton do the deed and thought, right, I'm not letting Tyler Humphries get off lightly here. He obviously beat him in the earlier race, so he knows that it's doable. On board again with Tyler Humphries. Just watching Frankie Whilton. He's actually built a gap. Fair play to Frankie. So he's got himself a nice little bit of breathing space here. Wilson Dilks again trying to put Tyler Humphries under some pressure through the toe of the boot. They get back on the throttle up towards that final chicane section. It's going to be tricky for Frankie Whilton to pull clear of Tyler Humphries with Wilson Dilks right behind him. 5 laps to go as they go across the line. So race leader Frankie Whilton out in front of Humphries, then Dilks, Josh Herring still P4 from Cooper, then it's Lucas King, Dan Stevenson, Ollie O'Gorman, Ollie Evans, Leo Hams and Harry Rafferty. Everybody's still on the lead lap. There's only about 6 seconds disparity between the laps this time, so it's actually MiniGP UK 160, one of the closer categories that we've got. You have to remember that the back markers are not going to be at the same pace as the leaders, but the disparity between the riders, it reflects the ability that we've got out there.
Absolutely. We've got riders in this, of course, from 10 to 14 years of age. Now, these guys won't be in the sort of 10-year age range. That's more the likes of Ollie O'Gorman. And up the inside goes Tyler Humphries for the lead, Jake.
What a gamble that was! And Tyler Humphries makes it stick. Goodness me, that was... Right, where's Frankie Whilton? There's only 2 of them. Has Frankie Whilton gone down? Frankie Whilton, there he is in third position. He lost a lot of ground in that.
I'm not sure what's happened to Frankie there. He's had a problem with the bike, it looks like. He's recovered it, but he's still upright, but he's lost a load of time. This is the battle for 6th.
I mean, he'll still be happy for third position, but that could have been the race win, and he knows it. Battle for 6th position still very much raging between King, Stevenson, O'Gorman, Evitts and Leo Hams. But here is another intoxicating fight. It's the one we're familiar with, Tyler Humphries and Wilson Dilks as they close up on Harry Rafferty. And in the background, you can just about make out Frankie Whilton, who lost a good 3 seconds there to the leaders. So he was leading, but that big gamble from Tyler Humphries. I wonder if Frankie Whilton actually got on the grass, because Tyler Humphries went for such a long break in there.
Yeah, I think he must have run wide. There's no doubt about it. He must have done, because he lost so much time.
Right, Tyler Humphries approaching Harry Rafferty. Careful, careful. Whatever you do, pick your moment. That's better, so you don't want to go too aggro. Mind you, Harry Rafferty's thinking, oh, can I run side by side with the race leader? Well, I can for a little bit. Wilson Dilks, he's almost pinched. Oh, that's commitment from Wilson Dilks.
Oh, no blue flags, by the way, guys. If you're not seeing any blue flags, there's a reason for that. There's no blue flags. The riders have to make their way past back markers, and it's all part of the learning curve on your way to MotoGP.
I tell you, that was tactical from Tyler Humphries, committed from Wilson Dilks. He knew, right, Tyler's got through. I cannot afford to lose too much time sat behind him. And there's Frankie Whilton making the same movement on Harry Rafferty in the background as they tiptoe their way through the toe of the boot up to this new platform heel, if you like, on the final part of the course, and then back on the gas. Right, there's Leo Hams in front of us. So Tyler Humphries, again, it's pretty much Groundhog Day. He's got to get past him in exactly the same place, but he makes even lighter work of Leo Hams than he did of Harry Rafferty, and so too does Wilson Dilks. Meanwhile, Lucas King's got pressure from Dan Stevenson and Ollie O'Gorman. Look at the 3 of them, very close together. Ollie Evitts staying with them there in 9th position, just trying to get close to them. As we look at the leaders once again, Tyler Humphries versus Wilson Dilks, and yet again, it's threatening to rain, as it always does here at Wilton Mill. Hasn't so far, but there's a threat of it, and even if the slightest moisture gets on the circuit around this place when the tyres and brakes are all up to temperature, that could play havoc with the way this race eventually plays out. Wilson Dilks still determined to get past Tyler Humphries on the main picture. On the inset to the right, you've still got this great duel going on between Josh Herring and Hudson Cooper. And these rat racers still having a very good race of it in fourth and fifth. Right, last lap. Can Wilson Dilks do to Tyler Humphries what he did in race one? Or will it be all square between them? Wilson Dilks is going the far side, trying to go all the way round the outside, but he's going to have the long way round to get past him. So now he switches tack. Goes slow in, fast out, can't get the job done as they run through Inkerman's, the right flick. Now up to Ashby, and look at Tyler Humphries, ultra defensive tactics now. Can Wilson Dilks get back on the power? Gets level, tries to draw the front wheel level with Tyler Humphries' rear wheel, can't quite get there. Through Wilkins, through Oziers, back on the power again. Tyler Humphries isn't going to give him any space at all, is he? Even if Wilson Dilks pulls off the mega move. He knows it. He's going to have to settle for second place here. Surely one last dive into the final hairpin just in case. But you're never going to get that one done. It's going to be Tyler Humphries all the way from Wilson Dilks. It's one apiece between the two of them. Wilson Dilks won race one. Tyler Humphries wins race two. Fair play to Frankie Watson. He finishes third, but he'll be disappointed with that in the grand scheme of things. But the battle for fourth position looks like it's going to go between Cooper and Herring. This battle for sixth position isn't done yet either, and I think that's Ollie O'Gorman actually having got ahead of Lucas King on the last lap, so he's got himself into seventh place. Has he got time now to take on Dan Stevenson in the closing stages? Ollie O'Gorman, very distinguishable overalls, very similar to his brother's Casey's overalls that he used to ride. So let's see if Ollie's got what it takes. But again, he's in exactly the same position as Wilson Dilks. He's run out of opportunities on the last lap. They're going to come through here, and it's going to be Dan Stevenson who comes through in sixth. Good ride at the end there, though, for Ollie O'Gorman. He grabs seventh ahead of Dan Stevenson. So Tyler Humphries and Wilson Dilks, again, almost level. Frankie Watson has to settle for third from pole position. Hudson Cooper fourth, ahead of Herring, King, O'Gorman, Stevenson, Ollie Evans, and Leo Hams. And as far as the championship is concerned, it ain't done yet, but it's almost there for Tyler Humphries. Just 32 points Wilson Dilks needs to find in tomorrow's two races.